Dear ladies and gentlemen, after watching of TV speech of President Barack Obama about USA strategy against ISIS and in the Iraq and Syria, I have decided to speak and give my scientific analysis about the root cause and genesis of social explosions in the Muslim countries, which are directed mainly against criminal dynasty regimes in the Muslim countries and their Western supporters. I hope my scientific point of view about it will help to build right relation between the nations with different religions and will prevent tragic human explosions in the Muslim countries. At first, let me say that creation of ISIS and many other that kind of fanatic Muslim religious organizations are not independent events, but result of religious discriminatory and wrong foreign policy of Western governments, including United States, to Muslim nations in the world. Betraying ideals of democracy, greedy and religiously discriminatory Western governments are knowingly creating and supporting mafia-like criminal dynasty regimes in the Muslim countries for suppressing of Muslim nations and capturing of national wealth of Muslim countries. This mafia-like criminal dynasty regimes in Muslim countries, with the support and help of Western governments, are creating powerful and corrupted police and military forces for arresting, killing all democratic-minded opposition, suppressing their own nations, abolishing democratic constitution, democratic voting system, and that way are creating destitute Muslim nation, destitute slave nation in Muslim countries. Creation and supporting of criminal dynasty regimes in Muslim countries by the immoral, greedy and religiously discriminatory Western governments are the root cause of creation of dangerous Muslim militant organizations, and they will continue to be created until root cause is not eliminated. The ISIS has to be punished for their desperate barbarism, but destroying of ISIS will change nothing and will again be created new, more powerful militant organization among the 1 billion destitute Muslim nation who lives and be suppressed under criminal dynasty regimes which have been created and supported by the Western governments. Creation of mafia-like dynasty regimes in the Muslim countries by Western governments is going under the name creation of stable regimes in Muslim countries. But truth is that immoral, greedy and religiously discriminatory Western governments are knowingly created mafia-like criminal dynasty regimes in all Muslim countries for having an unlimited access to cheap national wealth of Muslim countries and at the same time suppressing development of Muslim nations by the way bringing to power native traitors of the Muslim nations, the criminal dynasty regimes, for proving that Christians are better than Muslims, and it is very unjust and dangerous strategy. It is the true cause of creation of radical Islamic militant organization by destitute Muslim population. How cruel they are, all this militant Muslim organization by their nature are the national liberation movements of destitute Muslims against criminal dynasty regimes. The National Liberation Movement organization of destitute Muslim nations do not have another help source or choice, but using of slavery religion to bring justice to the Muslim countries. Because of Western governments are helping not to Muslim nations but to suppressor of Muslim nations, criminal dynasty regimes, it caused legitimate hatred of destitute Muslims towards Western governments. It is not difficult to see that all criminal dynasty regimes in Muslim countries are afraid of the National Liberation Movement organization of destitute Muslims more than Western governments do. And the Western governments with pleasure are helping to their puppet criminal dynasty regimes to destroy all national liberation movements of destitute Muslim nations, which are fighting to bring justice to their countries and overthrow all anti-national criminal dynasty regimes which are knowingly created by the religiously discriminatory Christian Western governments. If the Western governments will help to Muslim nations to get rid of criminal dynasty regimes in the Middle East and in post-Soviet Turkic Muslim countries, including criminal Bashar Assad's regimes in Syria and criminal Aliyev's dynasty regimes in Azerbaijan, to bring democracy to the Muslim countries and nations, it will help to transform all present and future radical Muslim organizations to democratic national liberation movement and political parties in the Muslim countries, and will promote scientific civil development of the whole Muslim nations. But very unfortunately, Western governments are continuing their wrong, immoral, religiously motivated discrimination towards the Muslim world. Let me bring fresh facts which are confirming of my scientific conclusions. Fresh facts. After falling down of Soviet Union in 1991, Western government discriminatorily created and supported democratic regimes in Christian post-Soviet countries, but criminal dynasty regimes in Turkic Muslim post-Soviet countries. For example, between three post-Soviet countries in Transcaucasia, Georgia, Azerbaijan, and Armenia, only Muslim Azerbaijan nation has been ruling by criminal dynasty regime, which has been created and supported by the Western governments, despite of the Azerbaijan nation elected democratic government, democratic constitutions after falling down of Soviet Union. But Western government didn't help and support to this democratic government of Azerbaijan. Contrary, they helped to KGB general, traitor of Azerbaijan nation, dog of Russian KGB Haydar Aliyev to overthrow democratically elected government of Azerbaijan. But in the Christian Georgia and Armenia, by the help of Western governments, have been established democratic system and democratically elected presidents. Despite of post-Soviet Christian Georgia has had more powerful and friendly to Western government Georgian Soviet leader Edward Shevardnadze, Western governments didn't allow even to this friendly Edward Shevardnadze to create his own dynasty regimes in Georgia, and has been replaced to Michael Saakashvili. And he has been replaced to Michael Saakashvili. But Western government allowed, helped and supported Russian KGB puppet Haydar Aliyev to create his criminal dynasty mafia regime in Muslim Azerbaijan. When he died, the same Western governments, England, United States and Israel, brought to power his gambler playboy son, Ilham Aliyev, who didn't care about democracy and other nation. His only duty is just stealing billions of dollars of oil money by criminal way, collecting of billions of bribes, and billions coming from narco business in Azerbaijan, and share all of these billions with Israel, Russia, and powerful lobby groups of England and United States for illegally staying in power in Azerbaijan. His wife, the director of multi-billion Haydar Aliyev Fund, which the source of billions in this criminal fund is unknown and never publicized. Shortly, whole ruling Aliyev's dynasty regimes is 100% criminal mafia regime and has to be arrested and brought to justice. Not only England and Israel, but United States also support to this criminal dynasty regime in Azerbaijan, instead of supporting democratic forces of nation of Azerbaijan. For example, when Secretary of State Hillary Clinton was in diplomatic mission in Azerbaijan in 2012, she did not meet with the opposition democratic parties of Azerbaijan, and that way demonstrated her support to criminal dynasty regime in Azerbaijan. She demonstratively showed that democracy issues were not a priority for her. American ambassador in Azerbaijan, Stanley Escudero, appointed by Clinton president's time, after cutting deal with dictator Ilham Aliyev, left his ambassador position and now is doing multi-million criminal business together with criminal dynasty regime in Azerbaijan. All this and other facts explicitly show immorality of Clinton family and their appointees who betrayed ideals of democracy and created negative images of United States government in the Muslim countries and world.